no numbers, there's no pictures, there's no videos, there's no gameplay. I don't like it.
Yo, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope everyone's having a good day so far. And today, Freemers, we are back with another Free Realms video. Technically a Palia video, but I'm more so leaning this towards Free Realms because we're going to talk about Palia in this video, but it's mainly going to be about Free Realms. Specifically, we are going to talk about Daybreak's ownership of Free Realms. Now, if you guys don't know, I have talked about Daybreak games in the past. I'm not going to go deep into who the company is. I have a video for that specifically if you guys want to know more about Daybreak games and what kind of company they are. And if you, need some trust, or a little bit of faith, watch that video to get some insight. But anywho, we're going to go into this video. We're going to talk about, first things first, I'm going to bring up the blurb. And then we're going to go over this little story I'm going to spin for you. And it's a true story, okay? So, without further ado, let's go ahead and dive on into this bad boy. So, first things first, the Free Realms Chatty plush. Ever since we announced Palia, we've had tons of players tell us that it reminds them of a very special game from back in the day called Free Realms. Since launching, we've had a ton of players tell us that it brought some of that magic back for them. In honor of this, we've asked our friends over at Daybreak Game Company if we could put a little something from Free Realms into Palia. And as a homage to the current Palians who still have that love for their time in Free Realms, you might find somewhat familiar face, Chatty the plush. Before we move on to, well, I'm just going to show you guys. They put Chatty the plush into Palia, which is pretty mind-boggling. And this brought up a lot of questions. The most important question is, why did Singularity 6 have to ask permission to put this into their game? You would think, oh, if Daybreak didn't own Free Realms anymore, Singularity 6 could do whatever they wanted with the IP. Because the original thought is that no one owns Free Realms anymore. With this, we're proven wrong. So, every time you see Free Realms mentioned, even in the title of this, there was a TM next to the word trademark, which means someone owns Free Realms. And it's not clear, but it says, in honor of this, we've asked our friends over at Daybreak Game Company if we could put a little something from Free Realms into Palia. So they asked. Now, we're going to dive fully into this because I want to give you guys some clarification on who owns what, okay? Because a lot of people seem to think, and this is wild, some people think Sony owns Free Realms. No. The only thing Sony owns the rights to is the It's Your World song by the Dares. That's the only thing Sony owns in entirety of this. Now, diving into the history of this company, Daybreak Games started out as Sony Online Entertainment, a blue logo, kind of representing the Jedi in Star Wars, if you will. And obviously, Sony Online Entertainment shut down back in 2014. 5 of their games shut down, and it was kind of sad. It was Free Realms shut down, Clone Wars Online Adventure shut down, a few others, but those are 2 that I can name off the top of my head. And then, of course, once Sony Online Entertainment was shut down, out from the ashes came Daybreak Games, or Daybreak Game Company. And it used to just be Daybreak Games, but now it's Daybreak Game Company. Interesting change there, but the point was, Sony Online Entertainment shut down 5 games, and Daybreak Games made 1 game out of those 5, called H1Z1. I'm not going to go into it. I will let you know that that game is dead in the water, doesn't exist anymore. But the point is, Daybreak is really good at just breaking games. It's wild. It's crazy. Now, eventually, Daybreak Games would be bought by Enad Global 7. You know what's funny? When I first saw this company, I was like, is this a basketball company? Like, I don't know, something in my mind went basketball. I don't know why. When you see global, you know. But anyway, Enad Global 7 acquires Daybreak Games. And Daybreak Games turns into Daybreak Game Company, I'm assuming, and just becomes a publishing company, because that's what it seems like they are. Now, if you guys don't know, Daybreak Game Company and Enad Global 7 purchased Singularity 6, hence why Singularity 6 asked Daybreak Company if they could just put Chatty the plush into the game. Which brought up a lot of questions for me personally. Who really owns Free Realms? Because if you guys recall, I started talking about this. A man by the name of Sam Cabet, or a woman, we don't know, but Sam Cabet, is trying to get the rights to the word Free Realms, or just the rights in general, the trademark for it anyway. This was submitted 2 years ago, coming up on 2 years, in August of 2023. And it's weird, because it says Daybreak Game Company has the trademark registered still, but it still says dead/canceled, but they still own the rights to it. And it's interesting that Sam would submit a thing for it, even though Daybreak still owns the rights. And why Daybreak holds on to the Free Realms rights for so long blows my mind. It's been 11 years. Let the rights go. Like, what is Daybreak doing with Free Realms? Oh, that's right. Absolutely nothing. They're not touching it at all, besides what they've done with Palia, with Singularity 6 and all that. Now, this was further proven that, you know, there is ownership on the Free Realms trademark in this next thing we're going to read here, which I read this blurb at the start of every video at this point. But from noon PT today until Tuesday, July 1st, anyone who watches 6 hours of their favorite Palia Twitch Drops enabled content creator will be rewarded with the Chatty plush. This is a way of us saying thanks to the games that came before us. Additionally, he'll be added as a drop in Zeki's Wondrous Machine from this patch onward. If you're not a Free Realms fan, then enjoy the Cube plush. But if you are, just remember that, like in Free Realms, in Palia, you rule. So, at the bottom of this post, you can see Free Realms and Chatty are trademarked, copyright claimed, 2025 Daybreak Game Company LLC. So, Daybreak still owns Free Realms. What does that mean for open source Free Realms? What does that mean for Free Realms Sunrise? What does that mean for any future project trying to revive Free Realms? Well, Daybreak has the right to take it down, which is unfortunate, because I thought no one owned Free Realms anymore. I thought, like, because Sam was trying to acquire the rights, that meant that the IP was just floating around in the ether, but that's not the case, unfortunately. So yeah, Daybreak Games still owns the right to Free Realms for some reason. Don't know why. Have zero idea why they still own the rights. It's kind of a weird one, you know? Kind of odd, to say the least. I don't know. I feel like they shouldn't have the rights anymore. I don't know. Sell it to someone. What is... You know what's funny? Because it's a dead canceled title. What is it worth? Like, you gotta wonder, is the IP worth any money? I mean, it can't be. I don't know. But I thought I'd make some clarification here saying, like, hey, Free Realms isn't just an IP sitting out in the void. Daybreak Games still owns it, which means be very careful about your Free Realms revivals and how you manage them. Do not put any... Don't ask for donations. Don't screw anything up with the revives. Be very careful, because you start to do things wrong, and Daybreak will come on in and shut you down. But who knows? I mean, this also might make players not want to do the or it might make people not want to do the revive anymore because of them still owning it. But I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about this briefly, but that's going to be the video for today. But thank you guys for watching. If you did, as always, I appreciate it a ton. I will see you guys in the next video, and yeah, goodbye.